Ladies and gentlemen, it is Victory Shades Monday for one of us, at least. Welcome to another edition.
Two of us.
For two of us, excuse me.
Blue light glasses shades Victory Monday.
It's the
Looking
blue
like
light
Gustavo
glasses
Rock from Big
shades
Time Rush,
Victory
Richie.
Monday, baby. Things are absolutely immaculate. Do us a favor, smash that like button the second that you come on in to the stream, baby. And subscribe to the channel. The AFC East SmackDown is now back on the AFC East Roundtable. We certainly miss you guys. We certainly did. We appreciate everybody that tuned in on the Autograph app for the past couple of months. But we back home, baby. We are back home, and some things just don't change. The Buffalo Bills are currently on top of the AFC East. I already see Bills Mafia completely dominating the live chat where it stands right now. Shout out Bills Mafia, who was just recently on my stream over on my channel. Thank you so much for coming on in, showing the love that you always do. Richie, talk to me. Oh, yeah. By the way, this stream is powered by BetUS. Best sportsbook in the face of the planet. We will get to them in just a second. Richie, how you doing?
Shout out BetUS. We're excited to get into some odds for this upcoming week. It's Victory Monday for me, man. You know, the victories extend. You know, it was Victory Friday, then it was Victory Saturday, then it was Victory Sunday. It's good when you win on Thursday Night Football. So vibes are high. Feels good to be in the winning side of things for the first time in a month and a half. I don't take it for granted, okay? I'm appreciating it, but now we got to turn the page and focus on stacking these wins, all right? But excited to be back on the AFC's YouTube channel. Shout out to the chat. Appreciate you guys tuning in. I went live on this channel yesterday to share my thoughts of the state of the AFC East, and we got a lot of love on there. So salute to the people who tuned into my little live stream yesterday on this channel, and we're excited to break things down. Hit that like button. Let's go, baby. Appreciate everybody tuning in.
Colby, what's going on, man? How you doing?
Hey, man, look, it's just another week, man. Back in the dumpster. That's why, Richie, let me tell you, I told you week 3, which is the last time you won heading into week 9. I said, don't take it for granted, bro, because you don't know when you're going to win again. And y'all thought after you beat the Patriots, you're going to go on this big streak, and you didn't win a game since heading into week 9. You finally got back in the dub column. Let this be a lesson that just because you win, just because you lose, it's any given Sunday. You don't know what's going to happen when you win. Just take the win. Feel good for as long as you can, because you never know what's going to happen the following week. A game that realistically, you know, we're going to get into it, but realistically, a game the Patriots should have won. It was a really, really tough ending. My emotions were up and down. I mean, all I can say is I said coming into the 2024 season that wins and losses wasn't going to determine if this was a successful season for the Patriots. This is year 1 of a rebuild. I said a successful season will be leaving 2024 saying that you have a quarterback to build around and a quarterback that players want to play for. And I feel confident saying after that game-tying touchdown by Draco that boy, oh boy, do we got something special.
Oh, we got Colby with a new microphone, a new soundboard. Colby leveling things up. He's leveling up like Drake May, baby. You see that? Baby. When the Pats win, you're still high. But when the Dolphins lose, my boy Tony Dow's still down. TD, how you doing down there, man?
Why are you talking to me, Richie?
Because you're up, man. We want to talk. We heard from Dan. Me,
Yep,
you're next, bro. What do you mean? Why am I talking to you? You're part of the show, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm just messing around. Listen, I actually feel great, man. I feel wonderful. I'm glad to be here on Monday Night SmackDown, so I get to smack you 3 fellas around. Because you know,
chill, bro.
Well, pause. But but listen, man. I came to a revelation this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
I finally have a revelation this weekend. You know, Miami Dolphins are about to go on the greatest run in NFL history.
Oh, my God.
And y'all should be thankful that y'all get to witness what's about to happen in the NFL moving forward, ladies and gentlemen. We're talking about a team that's now 2-6. Y'all are going to love what's to come. So I'm feeling great. How y'all doing? Let's go, baby.
Oh, my God. Ladies and gentlemen, please do us a favor.
Oh, I'm miserable.
So, like, it's a sickness. What do we call this? We got to diagnose TD with something. There has to be a word for that, bro.
I think it's DDS. It's Dolphins.
It's coping. Like, he just has to, like, attach himself to some delusional.
It's the cope, man. It's the cope. Listen, man, like, I reflect on the game and everything along those lines. And I'll tell you what screwed TD Finn's talk. And I know a lot of you guys
here you go.
Stream, and we're watching TD's stream. When the Dolphins were up 10-6, all right, like TD was already celebrating, man. He thought he had that game in the bag, and he called Dan Mitchell on my stream, bro. Ooh. He was like, "Oh, Dan, you're about to lose." And listen, I told myself this. I was just like, you know what? Why I think we're going to win now is because of that phone call. And lo and behold,
Rookie mistake.
absolute first play goes out. All right, first drive of the third quarter, punched out. Mostert fumbles once again. And then after the fact, folks, that Buffalo Bills offense just kept on scoring, taking advantage, making the adjustments necessary on the offensive side of the football. And Tyler Bass, holy hell, what a damn redemption story. So proud of that young kicker for sure. We certainly missed him. That is for damn sure. But guys, listen, we are going to unpack all of these games. This is the AFC East Smackdown. All right, shout out to everybody in the chat. But like we said before, guys, the show is powered by BetUS. BetUS is hands down the number one sports book on the face of the planet when it comes down into everything and anything that comes into sports betting. I'm talking over-unders, I'm talking money lines, I'm talking point spreads. And the best thing is that they're currently matching 150% of your first deposit all the way up to $2,000 and 125% of your second and your third deposit as long as you use code YouTube150. All right. And look at all of these lines that they have right now. What am I looking at? Patrick Mahomes, 3+ passing touchdowns versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I don't know. Sort of like that one, guys. Go on ahead and knock out all of your parlays, player props, money lines, you name it, over exclusively at the BetUS Sportsbook. Richie, is there anything else you'd like to add here?
Yeah, guys, you want to win some money? The Knicks are at plus 850 to win the championship. Get it now before it drops. Yeah, man, BetUS is the number one online sports book on the face of the planet, and we're excited to be partnered up with them. And, yeah, man, we're really excited. BetUS, not only football, but basketball.
Man, every sport, you just always be getting let down, bro. The Knicks are the next one? The Knicks are the next one?
The Knicks are my team that makes me feel good about myself, actually.
Go Celtics, man. Go Celtics.
And the Mets, too. The Jets hopefully can turn that around by starting with
Hey, come on. Y'all got one win now. Let's calm down, Jets fans.
Okay, first of all, what did I say that I need to calm down? I said I'm hoping that they can win this week so I can be happy.
Hey, I
what
said
is that?
Jets fans. I didn't say Jets representation. There's the difference. Your Jets
so
representation.
Guys, one thing that I feel like we haven't been one thing I feel like we haven't been doing a very good job of this year is that like we keep on releasing a bunch of really sick merch and we just don't tell you about it. All right. And that is completely on us. But we have some new designs that I want to go on ahead and show the vast majority of you in case you want to support Roundtable Sports with what we were doing. And oh my God, you might see some football helmets right there. Well, fun fact, we just ended up signing, a collaboration deal with a company called Green Gridiron, where now we have an official team helmet. Like I'm talking about authentic helmets. I'm talking about replicas. I'm talking about minis. We're going to be having all of these for each and every single team in our store from here on out. And so we have sick visors right here. We have nice little Speed authentic helmet, a regular Speed Flex with a visor, have mini helmets, etc. Have the Buffalo Bills minis right here. You don't want to miss out on all of your collectibles. Now you can get all of your helmets, official helmets from the league, thanks to Green Gridiron, for hopping on in on this partnership. Right now, we only have Buffalo Bills helmets as of right now, but stay tuned. We will have one for each and every single team moving forward. But a couple of other things we wanted to point out. How about that damn catch?
Woo!
Garrett Wilson, all right, from Garrett Wilson.
Garrett Wilson, Jets Nation, run that one up. T-shirt,
black, ready to go, folks. Ready to go in the store as we speak.
I want that tattooed on my face.
Also have one in white. And
oh, my God.
Gentlemen, all right, listen, we all know that the election is right around the corner, but we all want to vote our quarterback and favorite wide receiver in, baby. How about an Alan Cooper 2024 shirt, baby? Staring you right in the face. All of this is on the merch store. Have the Killer Bees from the New York Jets. Have a free Tyreek shirt as well for all of you Dolphins fans that are really hoping that he's just not a glorified blocker after a little bit. And then look at this, Patriots fans. Make the Patriots great again.
Drake May's doing that.
Patriots great again. This is what we have, Mayo 2024, man. We have Make the Jets great again, too. One of the two guys. Listen, we have so much merch in here right now. If you guys want to go on ahead.
Show off that Dolphin skeleton one back out.
Favorite. Yeah, and the Dolphins skeleton.
That's dope. That's dope.
Yeah. Right over here, guys. So definitely go ahead and check out our merch, guys. So many new drops have just came in. Super excited to continuously drop as much of this as humanly possible. Bills fans, a lot of really cool stuff. And like I said, we just partnered with Green Gridiron. We are now officially selling licensed helmets, thanks to Green Gridiron as well. Authentic helmets as well. You can wear this, folks. You can wear this out there when you're running the routes, doing your thing. Shout out to our merch guy, Paul himself.
So Dan, real quick, Dan. So we did talk about real quick. So before we get into these games, you kind of hinted on something, and I'm curious at getting your takes because since that Garrett Wilson catch, it's really taken the NFL by storm for obvious reasons. But the biggest storyline about that has been the discussion: what catch is greater, OBJ or this one? I'm very curious on everybody's thoughts on which catch you would take because they're very similar.
Yeah. So I'll tell you what. So as far as this, and I'm glad you started off with me as well, because this is about as non-biased as humanly possible. I honestly think that there's layers to a story about like saying, okay, like what is actually a good catch, right? In my opinion, I think that catch ended up meaning more because as much as that OBJ one was absolutely fantastic, they ended up losing that game. So against the Dallas Cowboys going into like was absolutely incredible. But like many people can say that catch from Garrett Wilson, I would say is pretty close on an athletic level. Like dude was like midair, one-handed. And the fact that he was able to get his shin and his foot in the first place was absolutely incredible. If he didn't end up converting that, who were to know if the Jets were to win that game in the first place? I'm going to have to go with the Garrett Wilson catch just because it actually moved the I'd say needle and actually was a massive factor to that Jets team winning the game by itself. Love that OBJ catch. Was fantastic, but I'm going to have to go with the Wilson catch since it actually meant something. It saved their season. Right?
Interesting. See, so the way that I see it is we're talking about the greatest catch. And I'm talking about, me personally, the way that I see it, I'm talking about pure catch alone, not circumstance, not the biggest game. I'm talking not the Super Bowl or a preseason game. That doesn't matter. Just pure catch to me, which one's better. And these are so similar, man. I've been going back and forth with myself now ever since that game. So we're trending on a week now that it's been, and I've been going back and forth with myself, and it's always switching. But the way that I see it is that OBJ was working through contact. He worked through pass interference. He extended a little bit more and pulled it in by 3 fingers. So for me, I feel like I give the slight edge to OBJ. But like, if you say that the Garrett Wilson catch is better, I'm not going to disagree with you because they're so similar and both are easily top 10 catches of all time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you look at let's just talk about Garrett Wilson pulling off the Air Jordan logo.
That was funny, dude. That was good.
Like that in itself is just, I mean, like the photo of Garrett Wilson snagging this thing is just like, I mean, I look at this every day.
I saw you say you wanted it as like a thing on your wall.
Oh, dude. Oh, 100%. I want that on my wall. 100%. I mean, like, you don't see catches like this every day. And you guys know me. I mean, I've been hyping up Garrett Wilson all offseason with like a lot of confidence that he will come through as one, like a breakout into a star. And I think that you can say going into the season, in my opinion, Garrett Wilson is a budding star. And I think on Thursday Night Football, he's no more of a budding star. That was his star moment to let the whole league know that Garrett Wilson is here. Garrett Wilson is an actual star in this league, and I've been very confident. Right now, he is in first place in the NFL in receptions, third place in receiving yards. He's up there with the best of the best statistically. And I know that has a lot to do with volume, but now Devontae Adams getting here even helps him out. And by the way, he didn't have one-handed catch. He had two one-handed catches. And this is the second one was the first one before this, where Rodgers threw it over the defender's head. He one-handed it, and then he ran it into the end zone. I mean, like, this is just, like, absurd. Absolutely absurd. And by the way, I don't even care if people pick OBJ over Garrett Wilson. My whole life as a New York fan, I've lived through that Odell Beckham Jr. catch. OBJ, like, changed the game from, like, kids going up there snagging one-handed. The fact that my favorite Jet, like Garrett Wilson is known as my favorite player on the Jets. Always has been, always will be. And the fact that he had this moment and now his catch is being named with OBJ and there's a debate between it, that's freaking awesome. I'm taking it. I don't care if you take OBJ or Wilson. I'm just absolutely satisfied that my boy Garrett Wilson went out there and proved the NFL world that he's different. He's not, a number 2. He's a number 1 receiver. A little, he's learning on the fly early on in the season, and the numbers are backing it up right now that he is able to go out there and moss defenders. And there was contact, by the way. This defender was all over him, and he just went up there and just snagged that thing like that, bro. And was able to get a shin in. Oh, I don't really care about comparing it to OBJ. I'm all about just appreciating what that catch meant to me.
Great catch.
All right, for me, this one's simple. I'm gonna go with Garrett Wilson's catch. And let me tell you why. Watching the catch, I like OBJ's the way that he cocked his body back and got it and went down. But Garrett Wilson's meant something. It actually had meaning behind it. You know, without it, they lose. Without the catch in a critical moment in the game, you go up and make a play for your team. The OBJ, when they were up 7-3 early in the game, you know, free flowing, you know, and you know how tired you got to be that late in the game. And
Also, Ed, it was 3rd and 19.
Yeah, it was a bigger moment. And I ain't gonna lie, them shirts fire. And it definitely gonna be a catch that Jets fans talking about for a long time. So it's one to remember. So him and OBJ, both of them had great catches, but I'll give it to Garrett only because of what it meant to the team in the moment.
I guess it's just a difference of circumstances and opinions. To me, when we're talking about greatest catch, I'm talking about pure greatest catch, not dependent on what it means. Because if that's the case, where would you rank Julian Edelman's catch in the Super Bowl? Got to have it moment between two defenders, bobbles up, dives for it. I mean, that's in the biggest stage there. So if we're talking about the biggest stages of all time, you could talk about that catch being even better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think this one is just about like these two are comparing because
how
of the
you caught it. They both caught it the same way.
Like OBJ was the first one to have a highlighted one-handed catch like that kind of changed the whole outlook of like youth football and just like oh yo, I'm an OBJ, throw it up, you know, like. And now there was never a catch that was replicated like that. And now the fact that he was able to contort his body the way that he did, and I was convinced that their Jets are not going to get that call. By the way, I was like, yeah, the refs aren't. Even if he's in, they get it. But yeah, we put a poll up, so you guys vote. Obviously, there's a lot of bias. People hate the Jets, so they're going to say OBJ no matter what. But try to be as objective as possible. Who do you guys got, G5 or OBJ? And then I guess this can just go into the quick recap of the Jets and the Texans game since we're talking about that. I mean, my first thoughts about it was, hey, I picked the Jets to lose this game. I was broken after the Jets lost to the Patriots. I did not really feel like the Jets had any positive momentum. The Jets were favored in this game. And I was like totally against the idea of the Jets doing anything. And now look what happened. And I also want to remind people that the New York Jets absolutely looked like the same New York Jets team all season in the first half. But then the second half, that's where they clicked. That was the whole offseason of my hyping up this Jets football team coming to fruition finally. It was 2 quarters. I'm like, finally. It was one half of good football. And it was just pure ecstasy for me because the Jets had 4 offensive possessions. 3 of the possessions were touchdowns by Aaron Rodgers. The other one was winning formation, victory formation. And we saw Aaron Rodgers completely flip the script. He was 15 for 18, 170 yards, 3 touchdowns and a half. Okay? Now, the Malachi Corley fumble was ridiculous. I mean, that was the most Jet experience I could imagine. His first opportunity, his first touchdown, I'm so amped up, and the guy fumbled. Hopefully they can still go his way because he's still a talented kid, and I don't want his confidence to get shattered. So keep feeding Malachi Corley, please. But at the end of the day, man, the Jets needed this win, not to mention their defense just owned C.J. Stroud. I don't care what anybody says. 8 sacks on the guy. It's just unbelievable. Quinnen Williams leveling up his game. Hassan Reddick making impacts. Will McDonald looking as one of the best upcoming edge rushers in the NFL. Jalen Mills, the veteran who we signed off the street, is playing like our best safety we've ever had, the Green Goblin. So listen, this was a win that could save the season. I'm not going to say the season's saved yet because they still need to win multiple games in a row. I mean, there's literally no room for error for the Jets anymore. We lost 5 straight. Now we need to win 5 straight in order for the season to be back. So it's a good win, but this win can mean absolutely nothing if we go out there and lose against the Cardinals. But at the end of the day, the Jets just got to stack that second half and use it as momentum. And the one thing that gives me the most optimism is not just Garrett Wilson having his star moment, but the way that they won the game was Aaron Rodgers. TD broke this down on Friday in the huddle. The way that he threw that touchdown pass to Davante Adams when they read the coverage and he looked at Davante and he's like, oh, in the slot. That is what Aaron Rodgers and Davante Adams did to the NFL for years and years and years. And the fact that we saw it in a game-winning touchdown, it wasn't a touchdown that came from behind to win it, but it was the dagger. Like, oh, this game's wrapped up. Like, that was the closing moment where I'm like, oh, my God, that's why we got Davante. And if they can use that as momentum, We shall see. But I'm not going to put all my eggs in the basket. This Jets team needs to prove more to me than just 2 good quarters of football. I need a full game of football before you can really convince me anything. But at the end of the day, I'm excited about my Jets that they went on primetime football on Halloween night and had a dominating victory over a first-place team in the NFL.
And so you got the Cardinals next week.
Cardinals dominating us, man.
So we will talk about that on Wednesday. All right, Colby.
Go to TD real quick. I'm trying to pull something up.
Well, what about you, TD?
Yo, Flicks, where your clips at?
He said he was getting them ready. But listen, man, this Jets game, at the end of the day, you have to ask yourself, it's not even really about the game. It's whether or not the Jets, they're going to be able to make a run from this point on. And did that game tell you that? So me looking at the game, I keep telling Jets fans, and I can't stand the Jets. Let's get that straight. But I keep telling Jets fans that your team is better than your record. The Dolphins are better than our record, in my opinion.
Yeah, so are the Patriots.
No, y'all not. Y'all actually overachieving. But if Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams getting cooking like that, and Garrett Wilson keep being that guy too, this is going to be a problem for a lot of teams. Do y'all know that last week they said the Dolphins had the easiest schedule remaining in the NFL?
Wow, you still can't win, huh?
But here's why though. It's because the Jets record, we have to play them twice in the record they have. And they're a much better team than their record says. And the Browns and, teams like that aren't doing good, but they are really good teams. So it's going to be very interesting to see how it all ends up. But I just like, what the Jets did in that game. Defense showed up a little better in that game. I really feel like Sauce got to get his act together. If y'all really going to make a run, he got to play better football. And I know every so often, like Sauce, let me say this too. I ain't trying to hate Richie. It's just a little observation and I could be totally wrong. Okay. But it seems like when Sauce be out there getting penalties and he be getting toasted, it's like, oh, my ankle, oh, my this and that. Oh, I'm tired. I need to go to the sideline. It's almost like pride injuries and stuff. Like, that's kind of how I feel. When he's playing good football, I don't never see these issues. And it's almost like he having these fake pride injuries. But who am I? I don't know. But it just seems like something weird about it. I just feel like he got to be better.
Yeah, there's something really completely off. There's definitely something off with Sauce. I think there's something mentally off. I don't know what it is. The fact that he went from being the dominant corner he was the first 2 seasons to this is interesting. He had a pass deflection at the end of the game, like, okay, let's go. Let's use that momentum, and then he gets a flag on the next play. So it's just a matter of him just, the greats have bad seasons, and he's got to be able to use this adversity and overcome it. DJ Reed is playing better than him. We got players out there that's going to elevate his game, but you're right. Sauce is definitely not playing like the player that we fell in love with the first 2 seasons, and Jets fans will tell you that.
Here's what I'll say in closing to this, though. Here's what I do know about the Jets. Y'all are going to go on a little run. And I'm not saying this to be trolling. No, I know they're going to go on a run, watch. But I'm not saying this to be trolling, Jets fans, so stop getting mad at me. But whether or not y'all make the playoffs is all going to depend on the Miami Dolphins games. Kobe said this. I think it was Kobe that said it.
No, it was Kevin.
Kevin, okay, yeah. It's going to come down to those Miami Dolphin games.
Well, we got to get there first. That's how I look at it.
I get it, but you'll see as weeks go on and on, man, y'all going to need those games bad. Because if y'all get in, I think that y'all will have gotten enough continuity to be able to compete with everybody. But will you get in? And I think those 2 Dolphin games is going to decide it. And y'all got to come to Miami, and it ain't going to be freezing cold. December 8th, that is going to be the game.
We'll be there.
It's going to decide, we'll be there live. I mean, we will be all 4 of us. But, Richie, that is going to be the game that's going to decide. Hey, King Lowski say he going into that, right?
Yeah, but, TD, the thing you're missing is I need to see this Jets team. The only way that game matters, the Jets got to win 4 in a row. Heading into that game. Because that could be the game where we get back to over 500 if we go on a winning streak, hypothetically. Like, if the Jets lose to the Cardinals, beat the Colts, lose to the Seahawks, and then, like, that game does not mean anything to us, we're eliminated. We still have to be alive before we get there, but I get what you're saying.
But I disagree.
If we lose 2 games up until that game, we're done.
Yeah, 2 games. But one game, y'all still got 1 game you can lose to make the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, there's 8 games left. The Jets got to be 7-1 in order to make the playoffs.
Yes. So it's going to come down
6-2 would be probably pushing it. That's 9-8. But yeah. I mean, I gotta before I think that week 14 game against the Dolphins means anything, I need to be able to see this team win against the Cardinals, and then the Colts, which, by the way, they flexed this out of Sunday Night Football. Thank you so much. Oh my God. Do not want to be on Sunday Night Football anymore.
Look at that. Well, I mean, honestly, I look at the Jets schedule right now. I see the Cardinals, I see the Colts, I see the Seahawks, and the Dolphins, which is December 8th, which is very interesting, guys. Get your tickets. Get your damn tickets. All right, folks. Me, Richie, TD, and Colby are going to be there. And Dolphins fans, listen, I totally understand that a lot of you are probably just like, why the hell would I want to go there? Well, number one, because you could potentially ruin the Jets season, and be in a beautiful terrace with an open bar. Oh my God. Listen, come on, baby. You do not want to miss out on that. We have a booked out terrace for this game. I'm excited to go to the game since I have no skin in that particular game. Obviously, we already swept the Dolphins, business as usual, but now I get to enjoy a quality football game and watch Richie and TD sweat the entire game. Sincerely would love each and every single one of you to come up. I'm trying to think of how many more tickets we have left. How many more tickets we have left, Richie?
30, I think.
30 tickets.
33 tickets left.
33
tickets are
left, folks.
$280 for a whole weekend event. Miller Ale House on Saturday night. We'll be there. We're going to be doing some things Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday for the tailgate. I mean, guys, we did a whole event in New York for the Jets and the Bills, and now we're doing our second event, first ever event in Miami. It would mean a lot for Jets fans in particular. I know there's a lot of Jets fans in Florida, so I'm talking to you guys. Pull up to Miami, buy the tickets through us. If you're not from Florida, you want to travel down to Florida, come through. It's going to be sunny. Good opportunity for Jets fans to go down south. And then Dolphins fans, come on through. Come on down. Enjoy the time. We're all going to be together. If you want to meet us for the first time, it's going to be a whole weekend in Miami, Roundtable Sports event. Tickets are in the description. Also pinned at the top of the chat. 33 tickets left. Let's go, man. We're excited to have you guys pull up.
33 to get on. And Snacking 95 is saying, goalposts get moved because success is never owned, just rented and rents due every day. Keep grinding till the Super Bowl. Snacking 95, $5. Rents due every day. You're damn right. Didn't Richie come out with a video that Jets could go on a run?
It was a live stream. The topic was, will the Jets go on a run? And it was my thoughts of if the Jets will go on a run. Don't spin my titles, Glenn, to make it seem like I'm predicting it. Watch the video first.
So usually I donate for Dan Mitchell, but this one's for TD. You are one of the most entertaining Dolphins fans ever, and make my day. Go Bills.
That shouldn't feel good, TD.
So he hates on the Bills.
Bills fans are laughing at your misery because you suck. You know?
He said, you know what? You were entertaining, and I absolutely love that. Colby, those damn Patriots, bro.
Hey, before we get into that, I got to say something about these Jets, man. Look.
Talk to me.
This was a good game by the Jets. Point blank. I mean, this was a good game. Not in the first half, like Richie alluded to. Not gonna lie, I'm sitting here at the gym with my boy watching the game on Halloween night. And I was like, man, this game is gonna be the spookiest thing I see for this entire night. It was injuries up and down the wazoo for both teams. Crappy football. And, you got Malachi Corley, who Richie loved that selection when they selected him in the draft a few months ago. Celebrates way too early, and I'm out here tweeting on my Twitter like, there is no way that the Jets are still jetting. Like, that is the most Jet thing that could possibly happen. But they turn it around. They turn around a little bit. I would say the running game still has to get going for this team a little bit, but you feel okay about the direction that it's headed. Breece Hall didn't have a bad game, 74 yards, 4.9 yards on average. Braylon Allen got going a little bit too. So it's not great. It's not where you want it to be yet, but it's at least a step in the right direction. Aaron Rodgers, just for the most part, made the right throws. Most importantly, didn't turn the ball over. Didn't do anything crazy. I mean, 211 yards, few passing touchdowns, nothing insane, but they did more than enough than they needed to in order to win this game. For me, the reason that the Jets balled out this much, though, was because of the lone fact that that defensive line showed up. That is, at least to me, the bread and butter of the New York Jets. It's not the defense as a whole. It's not the secondary. It's not Aaron Rodgers and Garrett Wilson and Breece Hall. It's that defensive line. Everybody talks about the quarterback, but what's the most important thing in football other than the quarterback? It's the trenches. Point blank. If you have a good offensive line, a good defensive line, you're going to get the job done after you, of course, hit on the quarterback position. 8 sacks. Hassan Reddick was killing it in this game, maybe making Jets fans forgive him, maybe a little bit, not fully, but maybe a little bit. Quinnen Williams in the middle there, absolutely dominating like he's been. I mean, a week ago when he played the Patriots, I was like, oh, dear God, like, I hate to say it, but this is one of my favorite players in football. It's, of course, he's on the in-division rival New York Jets, but one of my favorite players in football, one of the best interior defensive linemen since Vince Wilfork, easily. And that's a lot of praise coming from a Patriots fan. And they showed up. They got to CJ Stroud when they needed to. And I think that's a big reason on why the Jets came out with such a dominating win. But we also have to remember is that it's 1 week. And what I say, even about my Patriots, is 1 game is an anomaly. 2 games is a trend. Don't start puffing your chests after 1 game. That would be like the Patriots after beating the Jets last week saying, we can go on a run. No, we can't. And that's the difference. So for me, it's a good win. You balled out against CJ Stroud, who may be having a down year compared to what we saw in his rookie year, but still a very good quarterback. He's still hard to play against. You know, Joe Mixon ran all over you guys, but Joe Mixon, when he's in the game, he's been one of the most dominant running backs in the NFL this year. Killed the Patriots when they played him too. But, I mean, CJ Stroud, 11 for 30, 191 yards, sacked 8 times, in large part because of that defensive line. It's not an easy thing to do, and you guys did it. But you also have to put the caveat on the fact that that is a papier-mâché offensive line right now for the Texans. You guys are going to have much, much harder opponents. And 2, you're going up against Tank Dell, wide receiver 3, being asked to play wide receiver 1 and still put up 126 yards. So again, you got the win, and that's all that matters, right? A win is a win. A loss is a loss at the end of the day. And you guys got back in the win column. But again, let's see what the Jets can do moving forward. Because I'm not going to say you guys can go on a run. To get into the playoffs, I think the Jets are going to have to be a 10-win team at minimum, which means that you're going to have to play near a perfect season the rest of the season in order to get into the playoffs. Because I'm looking at the playoff picture right now, and the Jets moved up 5 spots, but you're the 10th seed in the AFC. The only teams that are behind the Jets right now are the Titans, Dolphins, Browns, Jags, Raiders, and Patriots. Ahead of you, you have the Bengals and the Colts, who are both 4 and 5.
Dolphins are behind us, you said?
Yeah. And then the Broncos, who are the last seed right now in the AFC playoff picture, they are 5 and 4. So you're already 2 games behind the last seed Denver Broncos for this playoff picture. Not only do I think the Jets are going to have to play near perfect football the rest of the season, but I also think they're going to need teams who are in the picture right now to start losing. It is going to be an uphill battle for this team. I think that Jets fans, you've jinxed your team before. Don't do it again. Be hype about this win. Feel confident about this win. Divulge yourself in this win because you don't know how much more you're going to get. But the last time you won a game heading into this game, week 9, was against the Patriots week 3. And y'all thought that was the turning point. And what did you do? You didn't win a single game after. It took you, 5 weeks? Something like that to win another game? 5-6 weeks? So let's see what the Jets can do. And if they can go out here this week in week 10, get another win, start stringing these things together, then I think we start realistically talking about the Jets. But again, until then, 1 game is an anomaly, 2 games is a trend.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, my God. Well, listen, man, you know what? I know a lot of us didn't really care to hear about that Jets game on Thursday. Everyone's here to talk about the Buffalo Bills. And
Hey, that's disrespectful.
Hey, listen, we all know that Bills fans have been dominating this chat, all right, for the past couple of weeks and for rightful reasons. But obviously, we do need to hear a brief analysis from Colby about the New England Patriots loss against the Tennessee Titans. Broke my heart, my friend. I picked the Patriots to win, and they were the only leg in my parlay that didn't hit. So a little pissed off, but a very impressive throw play from Drake May. Had some nice, like, sort of levels of positivity we saw from the young QB, but ultimately an L. Talk to us.
Man, look, I can go on and on and on. This defense isn't good. And this defense, I think, heading into this season was something that we all thought was going to be, somewhere in the top 10. It was still going to be a good defense, even though Belichick wasn't here. And they haven't been. Now, granted, they only, gave up about 20 points. And that was through 5 quarters of football. But they still have to be better. You still gave up 20 points to one of the worst offenses in the NFL. And so I think you have to look at it from a larger standpoint. You can't look at things so black and white. If you're giving up 20 points to one of the worst offenses in the league, what are you going to do when you play the Bills? What are you going to do when you play the Dolphins again? Your defense has to step up. And as much as I would say they need to step up, they're probably not going to, in large part because of the talent. And that's what I've been telling Patriots fans. Is it frustrating? Yes. But you're trying to fit a square peg into a round hole. I think that's how the saying goes. The Patriots are injured. Very, very injured, especially on this defense. Especially losing all these captains isn't helping them. I think that's a large part of why Mason Rudolph was cooking them in this game. Drake May, we hear about a day or two before that he clears concussion protocol. He's playing in this game. The average time to come back from a concussion is about 9 days. So it shocked everybody that in less than 7, he was able to clear concussion protocol. There was some controversy on, do you still play this kid? He's coming back from a concussion. Do you rush him in? But they still decided to play him, which I completely understand. And Drake May played fairly well. Drake May played fairly well. I think if you take away the turnovers, you say, this guy cooked. This guy cooked. I mean, he put up 208 yards. He had a passing touchdown. He had 95 rushing yards on the ground. He put up over 300 yards of total offense. I think the Patriots had like 318 total yards offensively. Drake May contributed to about 301 of those yards. So yes, Drake May was turning the ball over. Yes, Drake May was ultimately the nail in the coffin on why they lost this game. A terrible, terrible interception, launches the ball down the field in overtime when they're at like the 50. So they're starting to cook, but launches the ball down the field, doesn't see Hooker, the free safety, intercepted, game's over. But Drake May is also the reason that the Patriots were able to drive down the field, time expiring, papier-mâché offensive line breaks down, Drake May's dancing around the pocket, gets hit by 2 defenders, launches the ball in the air, and a running back is able to make the play in the end zone, ties the game, sends it into overtime. Like I said earlier on in this stream, a successful season for the Patriots is not wins or losses. And yes, I want my team to win. But a successful season is saying that you hit on the quarterback position and saying that, you know what? Free agents will want to come here. Yes, we suck, but free agents will want to come here because if you hit on the most important position, if you have a quarterback that you can build around, teams will say, yes, they suck, but they have a good quarterback, and I want to be a reason that they start performing well. So another really, really rough day for these running backs. I think a large part of that is play calling. Last week in week 8, the Patriots were negative yards before contact. I would expect that to be even worse this week. I think in large part it's because of a really bad offensive line, but it's also because of bad play calling. Outside zone, run it up the gut. Outside zone, run it up the gut. We got to stop being so predictable. We got to get a little bit more creative. Drake May, I mean, the best friend to a quarterback is a running back, and he doesn't have that. He doesn't have receivers he can trust. He has a bad offensive line, the worst in the NFL, and he doesn't have a running game he can rely on. He's being asked to play Superman and a quarterback in, 5 games, 4.5 games? You can only ask this kid to do so much. Ramondre Stevenson, 10 attempts, 16 yards. He averaged 1.6 yards on average. Not nearly enough. Hunter Henry still balling out, looking really good. Kendrick Bourne coming back from a season-ending injury, finally starting to look like he's a little bit more acclimated. But, it just comes down to the play calling. Drake May getting sped up a little bit. He's got to learn to take care of the football a little bit more. And I walked away from this game saying the same thing I've been saying. The AFC East has another Josh Allen. And when I say that, a lot of people hear that, though, and they say, you're comparing Drake May in like 4 games to one of the greatest quarterbacks in football. And I'm not saying the success level. I'm saying playing style. I'm saying tendencies, both the good and the bad. Josh Allen can play superhero football. He can excel in offense past his limitation. He can be the leading rusher and go off for 100 yards and then throw a 50-yard bomb off platform. He can be a spectacular quarterback and be the reason his team wins. But he can also be the reason his team loses with terrible inopportune turnovers.
So no Super Bowls for Drake May, just like Josh Allen.
Well, hopefully he could be a little better.
Now
Hopefully
you're talking, Rich.
A little bit more of a
come
supporting
on,
cast,
man.
But yeah, I mean,
Right.
he's got to be better there.
It's the goalposts have been moved. But now, for everybody, why you are here. Of course, it is to discuss the Miami Dolphins and the Buffalo Bills game. But first, let's get to these super chats real fast. Props to Fraud God TD for not hiding after losing. Look how them L's got TD quiet. He's a new man. LMAO, jetted out. Those Jets fans need to eat more humble pie. The fact they were making comments about your record for game predictions. Grow up, grow a pair.
Oh, yeah, diehard Pats fan coming in. We had some Jets fans coming into my channel after the Patriots lost, just happy that I finally broke my perfect record prediction for the Patriots.
Oh, my God. What's up, AFC Roundtable? Great show as always. Go Bills. Beat Roundtable AFC's absolutely best roundtable on the platform. Richie, this is for you, bro. I have to say that you are one of the few Jets fans I can say is at least fair with comments. Oh, and go Pats.
Appreciate that, man.
Baby.
Much love.
Lino
Appreciate
TV.
it.
Man, and so y'all know you guys start early. I just wanted to say, let's go Fins. Psych, LOL, TD. Play that victory song. Dan, let them know it's our year. Go Bills Mafia. Lino TV is in the chat, folks.
Hey,
Listen.
Lino, you ain't
TD.
welcome on my channel no more. Don't come over to my channel. Lino
Hey,
been
TD, I got a
stalking,
question, man. TD, I got a question.
Gosh, man. Yeah.
Did the Dolphins break you this weekend?
They ain't break me, Richie.
No, I mean, I have a feeling that. So it.
What
I
are we
feel
looking
like
at,
he was
Dan? What
broken
is this?
A couple of weeks ago. Yeah, I feel like he was broken a couple of weeks ago. But anyway, I did want to go on ahead and just put this photo up there. Surprisingly enough, folks, this was a touchdown pass. This was a touchdown pass. Colby, look at it.
That was beautiful, bro.
Look at it.
Colby, look at it.
He wasn't looking at it. No,
It's like Bird Box. It's like,
suck it in. Look at it. Look at
That's
it.
beautiful,
That
bro.
was a damn touchdown pass, man. And the Buffalo Bills do what they do. 13-2 against the Miami Dolphins since Josh Allen has been the quarterback of the Buffalo Bills. Now,
I mean, who the heck thought the Dolphins were going to win this game? I got to be honest.
I mean,
So-
listen, all right? So I will
Bills
give the
winning,
Dolphins credit. And so
They
I
played
will
well.
give the Dolphins credit
They played
because
better than I
did
thought.
Play very well. They did play very well, right? And
Tua
They
played well,
did.
TD. Tua played good, man. Actually
They
looked
did.
phenomenal.
Hey, like, here's the
You're
one
all
thing, because I did
ridiculous,
see TD on X, and he was saying, he was just like, stop giving Tua credit. What if he was a basketball player and went 20 for 25 just doing layups, but then went 20% on the 3-point line, like after the fact? Like, he is absolutely going after each and every
I
single
mean, that's not bad for basketball terms, TD. That's a bad analogy.
Yeah, but still.
What do you mean? What's not bad?
I mean, at 20 field goals made, I don't care if you're 0 for 5 from downtown.
No. That wasn't the analogy. This is the analogy, Richie.
So what was the
people,
analogy?
people are basically trying to say that Tua game was elite, and it proves that he's elite, basically, right? So I gave them the analogy. I said,
Wait, before you go, are there actual Dolphins fans that think that game proved that he's elite?
that he's elite, that he can they figured the Bills defense out. So I tried to tell people, I said, this is what y'all need to realize. See, people don't understand numbers, Richie. They don't understand numbers. So, Richie, you know basketball very well, right? Mm-hmm. So, Richie, if I'm 10% from the 3-point line for my career,
yeah,
and I'm 30% mid-range, which both are terrible, right?
Yeah.
But I'm 90% on layups. Tua's game was the equivalence of having 20 layups and then only 5 other shots from the field, mid-range deep.
I get it, but I will say,
that's what his game was.
Like but I could be annoying and say, you know what? I mean, Shaquille O'Neal, one of the most dominant basketball players of all time. He had no shot from the outside, but he was dominating the paint.
Hold on. No, but here's the difference, Richie. When we're talking about the quarterback position, right? You talk about Tua dominating the paint, but what if he goes up against the team that is the best defenders of the paint? Now, we're not going to sit here and act like Tua is the Shaquille O'Neal of the short pass, right?
No, he is. I think we just figured it out. He's Shaq.
But that's the whole. No, we'll stop. Well, maybe you know what, Richie? Maybe he is Shaq. But here's the problem. in the game against
Yeah,
great
but
teams.
are you calling out this boy right here? Is that you calling out?
Yeah, fans say be delusional sometimes, man. He on that Tua stuff. Listen, this is what we found out.
My boy.
Maybe Tua is the Shaq of dink and dunk, but when we play against good teams, they put him on the free throw line a few times.
There you go. Now we're
talking. And hold on, he go to the free throw line in the first quarter or in the third quarter, but in the fourth quarter he made all his dunks and was dominant, and we lost. But they don't care about the missed free throws in the first and third quarter. That's what it is right now. That's the analogy for Tua. Nobody cares about the missed free throws early on because he was just so good being dominant. He had 40 points in the paint today, and we lost by 1, but he was 2 for 10 from the free throw line.
I get it. I think that Tua's game is very polarizing amongst the fan base of the Dolphins. And he does a lot of good things, but he doesn't get that elite play that help you win the game, right? And I'm just thinking for you, TD, because it feels like you've fell off, and now you're in like a doldrum. Because look where you are right now. Look where you are.
So I got more video than me.
So I can't hear it.
Good. I'm glad it ain't no audio.
Couldn't hear that?
No.
Oh, boy, you couldn't hear that. Oh, you got to hear it. I got to figure out a way. Why doesn't it come through the audio? Man, we got people.
I could just do like the little lip sync for it. Like
right
I could pretend I'm TD.
I'm shooting around through the script.
And so was that last week?
This is Sunday.
That was Sunday.
Why are you crying, bro?
Bass ended up.
No, because that was on Poyer's passing. His head
roughness. I think they.
I thought they were gonna put it at the spot.
Yeah, dude. Oh man, listen. I would love a compilation of all of the times that the Bills have caused TD pain. Flicks, get on it. All right, get on it.
Shout out to Gator. Gator made that one.
Just shout out to Gator and shout out to everybody that watches TD streams. Now, one thing I will say is that CB83 did win $100 from me. Okay,
you spend it?
$100 for me. I did cash app him because I said that the Bills would have been up by 17 points by the half, and I was very much so wrong. However,
CB, I said you guys would cover that +6. I was right on that one.
But like one thing I was going to say is that I kept trying to reflect on what was the turning point, like what made the Bills walk out of the tunnel like after that first half of the game and turn things around. And I said that it was either after I ended up paying my debt to CB83, the second that $100 hit his Cash App, or was it the second that TD Finstock called me and started trolling me when they were up 10-6 at the half? I'm not particularly sure. But in all honesty, like I said, I do want to give the Dolphins some credit. All right. They had a great game plan. And so they really, really did. Swing pass after swing pass. They knew that the Buffalo Bills were going to be completely focusing on taking Tyreek and Jalen Waddle out off of the perimeter. It was opening up for plays like that for them to absolutely eat underneath. And that's exactly what they did. This run defense for the Buffalo Bills is certainly a concern. It really, really is, depending on what sort of offense we're going to be going up against. We were able to go on ahead and shut down the run game for Seattle last week due to the fact that DK Metcalf was out, right? We were able to commit to the run game, hence why we were able to shut down Kenneth Walker III. But when you go up against teams that have a great run game and some solid wide receiver threats, a lot of the times we have to pick one or the other. And unfortunately, that's why that three-headed monster over in Miami, that run game absolutely ate. They were scoring at will. But the one thing it was, as much shit as we want to give the Buffalo Bills defense for that game, allowing Miami to march down the field and score again and again and again and again, we have to understand a couple of things. We have to understand what was the true momentum shifter, and that momentum shifter was the Mostert fumble. All right, we called on the defense to just make one stop. That's all we needed. And then that completely flipped that momentum over to our offense, which, again, scored on each and every single drive from then on out. It was absolutely beautiful. You had Josh Allen go out there, throw 3 touchdown passes. I showed you that image where it looked like he was about to get sacked, but ended up finding Quentin Morris in the end zone. Shout out Ray Davis. That dude is an absolute steal. And then shout out this overall offensive game plan. We were without Amari Cooper, all right? And then right after the fact, like we had to figure things out, and we did. And by God, man, Tyler Bass, about time. I feel bad for that dude. He has had death threats before on Twitter, especially after missing that 1 field goal during the AFC divisional round after the fact. But what a damn redemption story for the guy. So happy to see it. Saw a celebration, was cold as hell. And the Buffalo Bills are currently sitting at 7-2. And the last time the Buffalo Bills were at 7-2, we ended up going as far as the AFC Championship. Does that happen? I don't know. I'm just taking it week by week. We have the Colts next week. Let's figure this out, but let's get healthy. That's the most important thing. But 7-2, I'm feeling damn good about it. And for every single Bills fan out there, I can tell you this, all right? Something to really rest your head on here, okay? Some of us are still complaining about certain aspects of the team, whether or not that it's the run defense or it's a particular player that we want to pick on each and every single week. I guarantee you that if I were to hop into a time machine 3 months ago, and if I were to talk to each and every single one of you telling you, hey, through 9 weeks of the NFL season, we would be sitting at 7-2 and as the second seed in the playoffs, guarantee you each and every single one of you would be like, okay, hell yeah, I will take it. Like it. I like it. Richie, thoughts on that game?
Yeah, I mean, congrats to the Buffalo Bills. You took care of business as expected. You beat up on a team that you own in the division, the Miami Dolphins. That's how many – did you guys sweep them 3 years ago or no? When's the last time the Dolphins beat the Bills?
We won 2 years ago.
That was the one
in this year
in Miami, right?
2 years ago. Yeah, it was that first week. Yeah.
So that's back-to-back seasons swept.
Back-to-back.
TD, you have lost a card to talk down on the Bills.
Yeah, you have. It's never that.
No, I haven't.
And Josh, yeah, why?
Don't worry. I'll tell you when it's my turn.
Okay. Well, listen, man, the Buffalo Bills, they have went and take care of business. They beat up on the Miami Dolphins, and this season they dominated them in Miami, and then they played a close game in Buffalo. They were the better team. Josh Allen was the better quarterback. They took care of business. And, you know, you can break it down by, oh, Jordan Poyer's fault, or Tua didn't make this play, or this fumble, or Jordan Poyer, whatever the case may be. The reality is the reality. And I think that at the end of the day, you got to look at it from the standpoint that the better team won this football game. And I think that the Buffalo Bills are gaining a lot of steam. They're gaining a lot of momentum. And something that the Buffalo Bills have done is now they gave them. Now, obviously, Bills fans want to win out. They want to win as many games as possible. They're looking for the number 1 seed, as they should. But what the Buffalo Bills have is a lot of room for error. They have a big margin now. They can afford going a little stinker in a game or two. Sorry, TD. And I think that that's big. Having a cushion of 7-2 record, that must feel great. And the Buffalo Bills, they have the same coach, the same quarterback that has won this division 4 straight years. And I was dead wrong about the Bills potentially losing the division this year because I thought that this division would be a little bit more competitive. And at the end of the day, it's not at all. All right? We're coming for revenge in Buffalo. I'll tell you that much. This Jets team is coming for revenge. Hopefully, we're in it by that point. Whether we're in it or not, I still want to win that game. But at the end of the day, the Bills were the better football team. I picked the Bills to win this game for the standpoint of Josh Allen's the better quarterback. They have the better head coach. They have the better team. I think you can argue that the Dolphins may have better talent, but I think the Bills have the better team, and that was proved on Sunday.
Colby, thoughts?
Yeah, so look, I had the Buffalo Bills winning this game, but I had the Buffalo Bills winning this game a lot more confidently. You know, I didn't think the Dolphins were going to be able to step in and do what they did. I thought they were going to get stomped, and they lost. So, like, technically, yeah, I was right. But my biggest takeaway isn't the fact that, hey, look, the Buffalo Bills won. My biggest takeaway is, yes, it's a loss, and there's no such thing as a moral loss or a moral win, whatever. But congrats to the Dolphins for keeping this as close as they did. And I think the biggest question is going to be going up against one of the best teams in the NFL. Is this basically a sign of what's to come for the Dolphins? Or is this just one of those situations where you're playing against an in-division rival, You know how to play them. And it's just one of those anomalies where it's a close game. Doesn't matter how good or bad the other opponent is. But the fact that they kept it this close, I think the Miami Dolphins can actually start stringing together some wins. You know, Tua's finally coming back. He's getting his foot in a little bit. I think the Dolphins can start to put some wins together. Now, I don't think they're a playoff team. I don't think they're going to be able to make the playoffs. I think it's a little bit too late for them to do that. I think if they wanted any chance at doing so, that was going to have to start last week. But I could see the Dolphins maybe going and being a 7-win team by the end of the season. Middle of the pack. Maybe you carry some momentum into the offseason. I said maybe. That's like max. I'm wishful thinking right here. But if you can string some wins together and you can use this as momentum, maybe the Dolphins could be a 7-win team. Not enough to get to the playoffs. You're going to miss no matter what. It's far too late. But I think that, again, despite the loss, you should feel pretty confident with what you saw. You need your defense to step up, but with the trade deadline looming in actually tomorrow, I'll be curious to see what the Dolphins do. There's been some players that people have called about the Dolphins for. I've heard the Dolphins linked to a couple of players. So I think it's going to be really interesting to see because either the Dolphins are going to go in and really believe in themselves and try to make this last-minute run, or they're going to have their eyes and their sights here on 2025. As for the Bills side of things, another dominant game by them, another win by them. We say this every week. I really feel like there's not too much to say about the Bills or their wins at this point. But, you know, Keon Coleman forces Josh Allen to have an interception. I've seen some people on Twitter saying Josh Allen's back. No, he's not. If you watch the game, you would know that that was completely on Keon Coleman. You got to be better, especially that close to the end zone. You're in the red zone right there. You got to capitalize on some type of points. You're going up against the number one cornerback on that Dolphins team in Jalen Ramsey, one of the best cornerbacks or one of the top cornerbacks still in the NFL, even if he's fallen off slightly. So he's got to be better there. But overall, Josh Allen playing good, and he's taking care of the football for the most part.
Well, I will tell you what. So I think it is like against the Miami Dolphins' interests of really being buyers of the trade deadline and really trying to win anything moving forward. What they need to do is get the highest draft pick as much as humanly possible and have a damn fire sale right now and start this rebuild. And I mean, I'm not saying that to troll. I just genuinely believe that if they're really trying to be competitive and dig themselves out of this hole right now, that's precisely what they need to do. Coming from a Bills fan who has been nothing for years and years and years, where like we did not have a quarterback and did not make the playoffs, like we would always screw ourselves by finishing middle in the pack and always getting like a middle round draft pick each and every single time, never being able to make like a game-changing move for the organization. That's me. But TD, thoughts on the game? Go ahead.
Okay, so first of all, in regards to the game, Richie.
We got to put this in a Google Doc, man. Your birthday's coming up.
Really, Richie?
Start posting these.
All right, listen, man. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I'm not broken because there's still hope for us, okay?
What?
I'm not broken because there's still hope.
This is his coping mechanism, guys. Let it happen. Let him cope.
Or something? Like, what are you talking about?
Dan, is there hope for the Jets?
Yeah.
Kobe, is there hope for the Jets?
No.
None?
I mean, I guess mathematically you're into it, but like morally, no, you're out. Let's be real. The Dolphins are into this. The Dolphins and Jets are in this about just as much as the Patriots are, like mathematically.
Stop it, Kobe.
It's true. The Jets are one game in front of the Patriots, and the Dolphins are the same record. And I don't think I'm not saying the Patriots are going to go there.
You want to talk mathematics?
Go on a win.
I'll talk mathematics. Playoff probability, according to NFL.com. The New England Patriots have a negative, less than 1% chance.
How is that even possible?
That means
you're on negative.
You're on the verge of being eliminated probably after your loss this week. The Miami Dolphins playoff probability is 3%.
So see, there's a chance.
The Jets probability is 28%.
That's wild.
And
It's
the
because
Bills are
they have
98.
more faith in you. It's the roster. Like, yeah, you have a good roster.
It's not because they have more faith in them.
We also have one more win.
You have one
Yeah,
more.
because they also have one more game. They haven't had their bye yet. So let's slow down here. The Dolphins are in the same position the Jets were in when they were 2-6.
Patriots haven't had their bye.
But the issue here is that y'all have dropped 2 games within the division. So that's probably why.
The Jets been dropping games. Listen. The
Jets dropped 1 to the Bills and the Pats.
Let me give my
We don't
take
get swept, though.
Let me give my take on this.
Oh,
game.
no. You don't get swept.
Let me give my take on this game, though, okay? If you didn't know the Bills were going to score 30 points going into this game, then you were lying to yourself. You're absolutely lying to yourself. And I knew the Bills were going to score 30 points going into this game. I always knew that in order for us to beat the Bills, we got to score more than 30 points. And this is why I said that it was going to be a shootout. And this is why I felt confident all week that we might have a chance to win this game. And I think this is something about this game that I feel like we're going to win. And y'all can contest to that. I was saying that all week. And I had zero expectation for our defense. I expected Josh Allen to do exactly what he did. I expected their offense to do exactly what they did. The only thing I didn't expect for their offense was to throw that interception and turn it over, Keon Coleman at the 1-yard line. That's the only thing I didn't expect, and it went our way. So when people say, why aren't you blaming the defense at all? Like, gosh, man, that's like literally. It's also like saying, why am I going to blame Shaquille O'Neal for not making free throws? Like, you should know what you're expecting going into the game. And you can't put the fault on a unit when you already know you don't have nothing on it. So I knew that the Bills were going to score. And I knew that our offense was going to find some success. But let me say this. The Bills defense, we did well against the Bills defense. But I studied the Bills defense because I like to see how can we ever beat them. And ladies and gentlemen, the Bills game plan that they came out there with on defense is not the same game plan that they normally actually run against the Miami Dolphins. This is what a lot of people don't recognize. It wasn't exactly the same game plan that they always run against the Miami Dolphins. The usual game plan for the Buffalo Bills is to maybe show you single high sometimes, but back somebody out in the 2. They also collapse on everything short. And they send pressure, and they do it zoned out, and they all those bubble screens and stuff like that. The Bills are usually all over that. The first time they literally played straight up cover 2 a lot, like base, point blank. They played a lot of cover 2. And people think, oh, we figured them out. No, they changed their whole defense up. They went with a whole new strategy, and some would ask, like, why? Why would they do that if they already have the number to beat you guys? Why would they do that? I don't know, but here's what I'm thinking. I think Sean McDermott, I think the Bills, what they did in this game and said this. We're going to allow Tua to take all he want underneath. But we know that he's going to be looking for Tyreek and Waddle first, and that second read he going to struggle with. But what they didn't expect was Miami to not make Tyreek and Waddle the first, not make them the first read. We actually made Jonnu, Odell, the running backs, the first read in this game. In a lot of cases, we made the other players the first read. So the Bills are like, they were still on top of it, but at the same token, they were giving up all the dink and dunks. But the reason why it's still a winning formula is because when you get to that red zone, I believe Sean McDermott knows in his heart that the Buffalo Bills are going to execute more than the Miami Dolphins in the red zone. When the Buffalo Bills don't have to worry about the deep ball, They switch up their defense in that red zone, and it isn't cover 2 anymore. It's clogging the middle and doing all of that. And the only way that the Dolphins can do anything is if Tua improvises and make a play, which he did. Remember that Waddle touchdown? Everything was locked up, and Tua improvised, made a play, and found Waddle late. It's the only way. But Sean McDermott knows they're not going to do that more than us. So we'll give them 20-something points, but they're not going to score more than us in this game. And I think that's what it came down to. Give up all the little yards, run the clock, make sure both teams get 7 possessions instead of 10. And sure enough, we're going to do more offensively than they do. And that's what happened. And lucky for them, they also ended it up with the right clock management to get the ball last. I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, we overachieved in that game and got some referee help throughout the game and still lost the game at the end. Had Coleman not threw that interception, cost that interception, and those bogus calls didn't happen, I could easily see the Dolphins spiraling in that game like they used to. But what this game did is give the team some motivation and thought process of, man, let's just keep playing like that and build on it. And I think we're going to stack up some wins after wins after wins. And I'm going to be honest with you. The reason why I'm down right now is because it's my worst nightmare. The Dolphins are going to win 9 games and miss the playoffs. That's where I'm at with it right now. They are actually going to go on a run. They're going to go 7-2 in this stretch. They're going to win 7-2, Kobe. They're going to win
to the Jets.
They're going to win 9 games,
2 L's
and they are just going to miss the playoffs, which is the worst case scenario for us. Why? Because it's going to hurt our draft stock. Here we go with this crap. Stop, Rich. They're going to hurt our draft stock.
Just a preview to Monday night, guys. Monday Night Football next week.
Hey, yo, Richie, or not Richie, there was some breaking news that did just drop. This was from, what was it, DolphinsNation.com saying, report, the Dolphins have been aggressive with trade talks and are not giving up on the season. So,
yeah, that was yesterday. The agent.
They should go all in. They should trade so many draft picks.
No, ladies and gentlemen, the worst things that can happen for the Miami Dolphins are about to happen. Chris Greer's going to try to make some trades that's going to screw our cap up even more in the future and lock us in. We're going to win 9 games and just miss the playoffs. It's going to give this fan base a newfound delusion, thinking that we can move forward in the next year, trying to stay healthy and go on a run again.
Yes, sir.
As everybody gets a year older with age, with more injuries. And this is the life of being a Dolphin fan right now. And I'm going to be honest with you, it absolutely sucks because if you don't see what's about to happen, Dolphin fans, you're literally intentionally being delusional about all of this, all for the hopes of making one guy work. Now, I know I've been on Twitter for the last 24 hours trolling about Tua was the reason we lost this game and X, Y, and Z. Let me clear that up right here on this live stream. Tua Tagovailoa is not the reason we lost that game, okay? I think Tua had a really good game. Dinking and dunking, of course, but still, he did what they gave him, okay?
Dinking and dunking,
but what he didn't do in that game was win the game. And there were opportunities for him to make more plays. Now, you can't ask Tua to be perfect, and I understand that as well. But Dolphin fans need to realize this is what your future is going to look like for this team. Your defense ain't going to get much better with the contracts that we locked in long-term in the future. This is what we have to live with. So the reason why I'm so hard on Tua, to everybody watching that wonders, why is he just so hard on Tua even if he has a good game? It's not Tua that I'm actually hard on. It's a lot of the fan base that I'm trying to point out hypocrisies and the fact that they care more about him than the overall team. And I came up with a conclusion today after I saw an ESPN analyst say it. He said it and it hit home. And a lot of people echoed this in different ways. Basically, to sum it up, this team is built to make Tua look good, not overall team success.
Oh.
Yo,
This
your
team
defense has been D the last 2 weeks. So you've given up 58 points defensively the last 2 weeks. At some point, you gotta lock down and say your defense is not doing their part.
Well, Kobe, it ain't been the last 2 weeks. Let's go. It ain't been the last 2 weeks. Let's go all the way back. First game of the season. We played. Hold on. I'm saying we're playing the Raggedy Jaguars. You expect their offense ain't did much all season? Oh, we're good. They were destroying us until Javon Holland punched out the fumble. Our defense wasn't great in that game outside of Javon Holland punching out the fumble. Then you go to Buffalo in week 2. We gave up 31 points in that game, and Buffalo gave up after Tua got hurt. They just kept running the ball and punting it, They gave up at the end of the third quarter. They could have put 40-50 on us. The defense against the freaking Colts, Kobe, we got murdered. Freaking Mason Rudolph. And not to knock on y'all, Kobe, but we were playing the Patriots. Y'all was struggling on offense. Like, our defense been trash. So I understand. We already know they're trash. The point I'm making, Kobe, is you go to war with a 9mm and they got drones and they got like nuclear bombs on offense. We're going to blame our 9mm? Like, come on. You know what you got. You got to bring your nukes too. I understand this notion that it's on the defense. But gosh, if the other team, if your defense is a 9mm and the other team bringing nukes, I'm sorry, you got to bring nukes to have a chance to win. You can't ask that 9mm to turn into a nuke, Kobe. So that's why I don't care about the defense letting us down. You should expect them to. They've been good all season, unless we play a Jaguars or a Patriots or the Tennessee Titans. The Tennessee Titans beat us too. And they offense beat us too. Like,
y'all
what does that tell you?
And get Ted McMillan. Y'all should trade Tyreek and select Ted McMillan.
Man, we should trade everybody. The truth of the matter is, if the Miami Dolphins and if Dolphin fans really cared about this team, you would trade everybody and start fresh and try to have a quicker future.
All in, man. Deadline's tomorrow, folks. Dolphins got to go all in.
So I definitely see that, because then say that the Dolphins do end up winning 9 games, then of course – that would be justification that Tua is still the answer. Mike McDaniel is still the answer. Rear is still the answer. And then it is just, again, another absolute insanity when it comes into it. Super chats, and let's get you guys out of here because Monday Night Football is right around the corner. Richie Fresh, Dan, and do you think our run defense is that bad or displayed in Dolphins game, or are we picking our poison? Been thinking about it and wondering if teams in Gen do that. So I'll tell you what, man, it's difficult to put an identity down on it because, like TD just ended up saying, this team picks their poison, right? Like, we were able to exclusively focus on the run against Seattle because DK Metcalf was out, and we trusted Christian Benford, and we also ended up wanting to trust Rasul Douglas. Last week, we didn't have Christian Benford, right? We had Kyler Elam out there, who is an absolute liability. So we couldn't commit to the run because we couldn't trust both of our DBs to be able to hang with the receivers on the outside. At full strength, I think this defense is fine, but unfortunately, it's unrealistic to think that even if we are fully healthy, that we can get it done each and every single which way. I know a lot of people are like pounding the table, hoping that we can make a move for like some player that can magically fix our run defense. It's going to take a hell of a lot more than one player, folks. And unfortunately, we just don't have a lot of money, and all of the big-time game-changing players out there, they would cost, second, first-round picks. If Bean makes a move tomorrow, it will be for no more than a fourth-round pick. So maybe Clowney, maybe somebody else, but at the end of the day, man, we just pick our poison, and let's just hope that Matt Milano gets back, and let's just hope that our defense can stay healthy, right? Is what it is.
It's a buyer's league right now, Dan, by the way. That's what I'll say too, is that right now you look at what players are going for, and they're going for next to nothing. So you can get some high-end good playmakers for pretty much nothing at this point. You can get like number 1 guys for like a 4th, 5th round pick right now, which is absolutely wild.
Yeah. And so the one thing I'm curious about, Dan and Colby, where will Richie and TD move the goalpost to this time around? We swept the Dolphins again, plus have a better record than the two teams we lost to as well. As somebody ended up putting it in, Staff Boy, you know, rents due each and every single week. You're only as good as the last week that you did play. And you know what, man? I'm not looking into the future past week 10 against the Indianapolis Colts. I'm not. All right.
And the reality is also there's no goalpost to move. We're staying sturdy of what we've been saying for the last few weeks.
Yeah, like why y'all do that,
I don't
Bills
understand.
fans?
There's no goalpost moving. We're still waiting for that game and waiting for the playoffs. I mean, there's no.
Yeah,
I'm very, very consistent with my Bills take. I don't care what you guys do in the regular season to this point on. You can win the rest of the games, or you can even lose a game, or you can beat the Lions. You can do all these things.
Exactly.
Playoffs is what matters the most for me when it comes to the Buffalo Bills. There's no goalpost moving for me anymore. I don't know.
Like, hold on. Why y'all talking about a goalpost when the only thing that matters for the Buffalo Bills is the Super Bowl? Like, that's all that matters.
You guys can win out and lose in the divisional round and be a failure. That's all. That's my point.
So, Staff Boy, that's exactly why, man. It's just part of the game. They're going to do it. All we can do is just focus on the game ahead of us. That's all we can do at this point. Sterling Giard is saying, how can I watch the replays of the Monday Night SmackDowns on Autograph? All right, Sterling Giard. Let me tell you what, my friend. This SmackDown show is going to be on the AFC East Roundtable channel from here on out. So have no fear there. If you want to look at some of the other SmackDowns, maybe we can go on ahead and probably release them. I think they're still unlisted on our channel, if that's the case.
I could make them public now.
So we could certainly do that if you guys wanted to check them out. Y'all be easy on my boy TD because I'm not trying to get kicked off of his channel. Tell CBA3 he needs to do more videos so I can hate and support his channel at the exact same time. Lino TV.
Yo, Lino
I appreciate you hating and supporting my channel.
Lino funny, man. Lino funny.
Don't worry, we're
Lino been harassed.
Hey, we coming to Buffalo, man. We coming to Buffalo for that revenge. Don't you forget.
And so, dude, we're waiting on a Lino TV call-in like one of these nights. I would love that. Jimmy Casket, when the Bills beat the Dolphins first time, what TD said, watch out for us week 9, but what's the excuse now? I mean, Bills are like 10-2 last 6 weeks. What now, TD? Damn. JD the Great. I love this great show today, TD. You've been on point today. Fins up, no matter what. I have a quick shorts.
Let's play that Wednesday.
Yeah, dude, we're going to play that on Wednesday.
Travis Etienne, watch this. He's going to be a Cincinnati Bengal by the end of tomorrow. Making my prediction live here.
Cincinnati Bengal. Folks, it is the trade deadline tomorrow. We're super excited to dive in to a lot of these trades, and also on Wednesday night during our preview show. DF for everyone. The rest of the AFC East realizes that they can't beat the Bills, and they revert to beating Kansas City every year. It's like a broken record. Is what it is. But at the end of the day, we can't change it. All we can control, well, I mean, we really can't even control. All we can hope for is that our team wins. That's all it is. Folks.
Shout out to Fabrizio for the super chat as well. No comment, but we appreciate this kind super chat. And I also, before we get out of here, want to give another shout out to BetUS Sportsbook, guys. We have Monday Night Football tonight, so make sure you guys make your bets on the BetUS Sportsbook website. That is betus.com.pa, and use the promo code YouTube150 when you sign up, folks. All right? The Chiefs are 9-point favorites, and I had TD and Dan in the chat convince me on the huddle today to cash out of my parlay. So if the Chiefs win tonight, I would have won $100 extra. But if they lose,
the Chiefs are gonna win tonight. Like, what are we talking about? Like,
I had a 13-leg parlay, and I'm not gonna go down.
If Chris Godwin and Mike Evans were in this game, okay, but that offense is.
You never know, right? I mean, the Saints ruined my. Colby, I had a 13-leg parlay yesterday. I was 12 for 13. I picked the Titans over the Patriots, and I put $40 to win $8,000.
Oh,
and
wow!
The Panthers ruined it.
Wow.
Yeah. I was $8,000 away. I was so yep.
Damn it.
It's those Dan Saints. But our Saints creator is definitely hype right now because he wanted them to lose the game to the Panthers, an in-division game, because he wanted Dennis Allen to be fired. And today, that's exactly what happened.
Wow.
All right, folks.
Thank you so much for tuning in to another edition of the AFC East Roundtable. We will see you on Wednesday night during the regular show. Love you guys. See you on Wednesday.
Shout out BetUS later.